Hi all, Gail Woodford here from Gaming Gems and welcome to my 300 subscriber special questions and answers. The answers! Right, as of the time of recording this, 10 days ago I did a video asking for your questions and I've had a few come in now, so big thank you to all those who sent them. So now I'm going to try and answer them as best I can. So here we go. Okay, MC Cloak Gaming and Jace382 ask, what is your fondest gaming memory? Now this was a tricky one. As I'm sure is the case with a lot of gamers, we have a huge amount of gaming moments. Usually the first time we see a game, they're usually the ones. When I first played Final Fantasy VII springs to mind. When I first saw Fable 2 on the Xbox 360. Well, basically, practically every game I first saw on the original PlayStation 1 just blew my mind. But the one that sticks out for me, it's not just because it's a gaming memory, it's a fond family memory. And that is when the first Resident Evil came out for the PlayStation 1. Now, when that came out, I was 12, something like that. And my dad had bought Resident Evil for himself to play. You know, I was too young, end of. So he went to try his new game out, and I thought, I'll just wander in and see what's all the fuss about. So I go in the room, and there's my dad playing as Jill Valentine. Now, my dad is a whiz at gaming at racing games, but anything else, not so much. So there he was in one of the tight corridors as Jill Valentine, running full pelt into a wall with a zombie chewing on his leg. He made no attempt to move left or right. He was just running straight into a wall, and well, he was going to die. So I jumped in, grabbed the controller off him, managed to get, I think I was upstairs. I managed to get Jill back down some stairs and into a save room. And well, after that I could play it, but my dad had to be with me until he got bored of that, and then I could play it myself, which is fantastic. But it was just so good because it was funny. It introduced me to a fantastic gaming series, of course, and it's just one of the fondest memories I have, especially because my dad introduced me to the gaming world, which I'm actually going to cover in the next question. Right, Jace382 and Totally Moo asked, what game first got you into gaming? Now, we're going back a bit here. I've had health problems since I was 2 years old, and I couldn't always do what other children do. Sometimes I couldn't play outside, depending on what they were doing, especially in the winter because it was too cold. So my dad thought, you know what, I'm going to introduce her to gaming. See if she likes it. If she doesn't, never mind. And at the time, we had a Spectrum. And the first game I saw, now it was either School Days or Back to School. I can't remember which one it was. And I was only about 2.5, 3 years old. And that was it. That was it. I was instantly hooked. And it's never left me. Never. It's always been there for me, especially growing up. I mean, I had friends, of course I did, but again, there was still, I couldn't do some things that they wanted to do. So I always had my games to go back to. And from the Spectrum, moved on to the Atari, and we had a Mega Drive, we had a SNES, PlayStations, Xboxes, PCs eventually, the whole lot. And I'm so glad it's never left me, because I think there's always, you think, oh, you might grow out of it, like a lot of things, but no, I didn't. And you know what? I hope I never do. Right, the Adventures of the Golden Sword asked, well, he asked two questions, so I'll do the first one. What is your best game? Going to be a bit of a cliche, I'm afraid, but call me predictable. Favourite game of all time? Final Fantasy VII. Again, it's one of them fond game memories, so it blew my mind. It was just so diverse. It was the first time I played a game with turn-based strategy. The characters were all good. all different. The story was excellent, and it was the biggest game I'd ever played. 3 discs. I mean, that was just, couldn't get my head around it at that age. And also, again, one of the saddest gaming moments in history, Ares' death, which a lot of us still aren't over. Me too. And it's just amazing. And also that game, the amount of times I started it again, because that's also where I learned about grinding. Running around for hours and hours on end, leveling up, so you can actually kill the next boss without getting your ass handed to you. And you know what? That's fine, because that's what RPGs are. But you got to learn. You got to start somewhere, and that's where I started with Final Fantasy VII. And sometimes grinding can be a bore, if it's a boring game. And no, I've never bored with grinding. Never. So every single bit of it, well, except for one bit. There's a part when you're in the Shinra building and you have to get Cloud, Ares, got Ares then, Cloud, Tifa and Barret past these 3 guards, and I hate that bit because I always muck it up. But apart from that, I love every single inch of that game. Right, his second question is, why YouTube? Now, that is a good question. My main reason for YouTube, if YouTube allows me and many others to do this for relatively, low cost at this time. If YouTube didn't exist, if YouTube had never come about, people, and I don't just mean gaming people, I mean anyone who has a passion for something, anything at all, and as you know, the categories on YouTube are vast, we'd never been able to do it. Never. Because you need big production teams and the equipment you need, and it costs a fortune, and you just couldn't do it. And a lot of talent wouldn't be around now because they would never have had a chance to shine, to prove that they, wanted to do something fun, to do something to good, and to share it with people to hopefully make them happy. And that's why I like YouTube. I mean, yeah, of course, there's parts of it that annoy me, but you get that with everything. So, okay, Lycon Pictus Gaming, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, asks, who are your favourite 3 channels on Twitch and 3 top favourite channels on YouTube? Now, I'm afraid I can't answer the Twitch question. I'm not on Twitch. The main reason I'm not on Twitch is because I can't film live. Everything I film, I can't plan, but I have to film when I'm physically able to. So I'd hate to be saying, I'm going to do a live stream and then bail out at the last minute, because, that's just not fair to people. So with YouTube, I have some control. I can film and edit and release when I'm able to, without, disappointing anybody. So I'm afraid I can't answer that, but I can answer the 3 top favourite YouTube channels. And number 1, not really a big surprise, Markiplier. Markiplier is who I first saw doing this. I'd heard of PewDiePie, but I hadn't really watched him, although he is great. But I got introduced to Markiplier through my best friend, and I've watched these videos over the years, and I've loved them. And he is just so passionate about the gaming, and he has fun, which is what it should be. And he works hard. He works his arse off, and he deserves the credit he gets. And PewDiePie and all those like them, Jacksepticeye, people like that, they deserve the credit. And those who aren't doing gaming, anyone who works their asses off to basically to entertain us, really. And yes, I know people, they do it for a career. Of course they do, but, everybody has a career in something. Well, hopefully, if people want a career, they can have a career. It's their choice, and that's what they choose to do. And they've worked hard, and they deserve the recognition for it. Anyone who works hard deserves recognition, no matter what field you're in, end of. So he's number 1. Number 2 is Nathy. Now, Nathy is solely a VR game player. I think it's usually the Oculus Rift. I'm not 100% certain on that. Don't quote me on that. But all his games are VR. And I do like the VR. I think it's an amazing step forward. Again, for me personally, I do have a few issues using it sometimes. So I can't use it for very long periods of time. But some of the videos he's covered, from, just funny daft games to even educational tools, history, and learning about the world through these games. And it's amazing. It's a step in the right direction. And his reviews are always good. I know they're only his opinion, but he's always concise, he's clear, and you know exactly what you're getting when you watch his videos. Plus, as well, I mean, I think he's got hundreds of thousands of subscribers, and he takes the time. I mean, I've commented on a few videos, and every time I've had a response from him. And that kind of support from someone who is that big is amazing. And again, that's another reason why YouTube is so good, because of the support, the community, the people keep together. We can go to each other, we can ask for advice, we can ask for comments, and people will help. And it's lovely. And it's lovely to get feedback from someone, or from anybody, whether they've got 1 subscriber or 1 billion. Any comment, anything at all, is wonderful. It shows that somebody likes what you're doing. Well, hopefully likes what you're doing. But for him to still take the time to do that, I think that's great. And the last one is Outside Xbox. Now, Outside Xbox, the thing I like about them is the little videos they do. They obviously they do the game playthroughs, of course they do, but they do videos like for example, like I mentioned Aries, 10 gaming deaths we haven't got over yet, 12 times a game has punished you for cheating, or 10 times a game has called you dumb. Videos like that are brilliant. Their research is good, they're funny, they're tongue-in-cheek, and they take the mick out of themselves. And again, it's entertaining, they're having a good time, and that's what it's all about. Okay, the last 3 questions are from Nisha Pandabeast. And her first one is, if you could pick any game character, which character would you choose to live as for the rest of your life? Now, this one is doozy. I have been racking my brains. It's took me days to come up with an answer. I could name you any character that has touched me, and that has touched me over the years, in your heart, or made you think, or just for being fun, really. And there's just that many of them going right back. But when I think about each of these characters, sometimes the world, it's usually not them, but it's the worlds they live in. I don't really want to live there. So it's like Jill Valentine. I absolutely love Jill, but I really don't want to spend the rest of my life in a living nightmare, going to sort out the rest of the world, which has become a living nightmare, things like that. Most of these worlds have monsters or some crazy shit running around, which, if you're a strong game character, actually wouldn't be too bad. But a lot of these characters have problems, and they have big problems. So when I thought about it, it's not actually a specific character. I hope this is all right for you, Nisha. But what it is, it's to be a Dragonborn from Skyrim. I'd probably be an archer. Again, like I say, yeah, there's monsters and all sorts of shit running around in there. But because you make the character your own. I mean, I know they don't speak or anything like that. They don't have a personality. But I'm assuming if I can be the gaming character, I can make a personality. So I would make a new me. And yes, I'd be an archer, because I'm always an archer when I play Skyrim as well. I like to sneak as well. I love sneaking with the bow drawn and then getting that critical hit. I love doing that. And the powers of a Dragonborn, I mean, blimey, shouting at someone and flinging them across the room. I mean, and many more besides. I mean, some of them powers are just way incredible. They really are. And yes, okay, it's a world full of monsters. Although, is it? Not monsters, not really. It's groups. It's the giants. Well, if you leave the giants alone, they'll generally leave you alone. The Draugr are a bit of a pisser, but if you want to avoid them, you just don't go to where the Draugr are, which is usually boroughs and temples and places like that. Yes, the dragons, but if you play all the way through Skyrim, you get the dragons under control. So if you play the DLC, you can even ride one. So, it's not all bad. And it's it's cold, but it's a beautiful world. Absolutely beautiful. Like I say, bloody freezing, but I think that's what I'd do. I'd live there. I'd have my different houses in my different places. I don't think life would ever be dull. I don't know how you retire, though, in Skyrim. If you get to a certain age, I don't know what you do. You see some old people, granted, but you don't see many. So, or is that because I've been eaten by a dragon? Don't know. So that is who I'd be. So the second question she asked me is, are you a winter or a summer person? And I could answer this one easily. I am a winter person. I don't know whether you've noticed in my videos, I'm always in these sleeveless t-shirts. Always. I dress like this all year round. When I say all year round, I mean all year round. Christmas, everything. I am like this. In the summer, I like it when the sun shines. I like it though when there's a cool breeze coming in. I'm a hot person. I'm always hot, and when it's like the summer we've just had was unbearable. I'd rather be cold than hot any day because it's easier to warm up than it is to cool down. So now we're getting into the winter months again. I'm clapping my hands. I'm the only one who's clapping the hands, as it turns out, because everybody wants the sun back. But yes, I'm definitely a winter person. And finally, she asks, would you rather know the history of every object you touch or have the ability to talk to animals? Another doozy. Now this one, well, actually, I did think about it a little bit, but in the end, there was only really one answer. I am a big history buff. I love history, always have done. I have a ton of history books, and I've been compiling my family tree for about 15 years now, and I still haven't finished. So it would definitely be the history of every object you touch, to know who's had it and what they did and where they lived and when they're from and how they used it even. I know we wouldn't need antique experts anymore, or, you know, I just go, yeah, that's from blah, 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 so a few people would be out of a job. But no, that is definitely that. The ability to talk to animals is a good one, especially because, as we know, a lot of animals get mistreated and, well, they can't say anything, literally, end of. Unless they attack, and then they get put to sleep anyway. So the ability to talk to animals would be good, but knowing the history of every object you touch, I think that one wins for me, definitely. And there we are. There's my questions answered. A big thank you again to everybody who sent them. I'm going to put a link for each of these people in the description box below. Please have a look. Wonderful people, very supportive, and excellent gaming content, each and every one of them. A big thank you again to them for the questions, and a big thank you to you for watching. If you are new to the channel, then welcome. Please remember to subscribe and leave any comments in the comments box below, and don't forget to ring my bell. Click the notification button to keep up to date with my new videos, and a big thank you once again for helping me get to, well, it's not 300 at the time of filming this, it's 340 subscribers. So amazing. I'm just so chuffed, it's brilliant. But big thank you to you all for your support, and I shall see you in the next video. So until then, take care. Bye bye.